Boxing King Media in association with Boxer. Delighted to have with me Joe Gallagher. Joe, it's been a while.
Yeah, it has, mate. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Your man Mark Heffron, Jack Cullen on this undercard. How's Mark looking in the gym?
Listen, Mark. He's on a good run of form. He hasn't been active really for the last 10, 11 months. It's nearly a year the time he gets in the ring, but we've had a good training camp. Gym's gone very well, and as you're seeing there, we're ready. We could fight tonight, tomorrow night. He's on weight. I'm really happy with him.
I mean, he's looked great in his last couple of fights. What is the capacity for him?
Listen, after this fight, wins this British title, defends this again, I want him to move on and move quickly. He's 31 years of age, and I'd really like to see him progress towards, I think he's ranked number 7 or 6 in the IBF, and I want him to really push towards a world title eliminator or a world title shot.
Jack Cullen's been around a while, he's been in some good fights, some tough fights as well, has been stopped as well, so do you expect Mark to do the job quite quickly?
Listen, I know Jack Cullen, I've known him for years, and like I've said, this is what a derby does. You can never know what's going to happen in a derby. Jack Cullen's just up the road. He's been in my gym numerous times with sparring. Obviously, Mark Heffron used to be trained by the Jenningses, so we all sort of know each other. But the derby brings something else, and Jack Cullen, most people may feel this is at the last chance saloon here, do you know what I mean? In big, meaningful fights, so he's got to come and give it his best and cause the upset in the same way that Mark Heffron, everyone thought he was in the last chance saloon when he fought Lennox Clark. He's got to deliver now. It's up to Mark to make sure that he stays composed and goes in there with the same determination and venom and intensity as he did when he fought Lennox Clark, and to break Jack Cullen down and get the win.
What's the latest with Natasha? I've just spoken to Michaela Mayer, said teams are in talks. Is that the fight you want next?
I don't know where Michaela's getting that from. There's no talks happening between Michaela Maguire and Natasha Jonas. Natasha Jonas at the moment, Natasha's talking about fighting in Tanzania or Zanzibar. She's just been over there on holiday. The government over there wanted to go over there and fight over there. So if that's a fight that includes Michaela Mayer in the opposite corner, then we'll look at that. But I think that's massive for female boxing. That's a female Ali Boumaier rumble in the jungle. I think if Natasha Jonas fighting over in Tanzania, Zanzibar, it would be massive for women's boxing, massive for Natasha Jonas, and I think that's one of the year's sporting events. How's
the rest of the gym?
Doing very well. Gym's busy this morning. Got a busy season coming up, new season. Obviously with Jack Massey looking to try and get in that cruiserweight picture, as is Callum Johnson coming back at cruiserweight. Then we've got the talented prospects like Billy Dens, Macaulay McGowan, Sean Yaxley just won the Celtic title this summer, Josh Holmes, Mikey Talon making his pro debut, Paul Butler going for another 3rd world title. The gym's busy as always.
Repeat or revenge? Liam Smith, Chris Eubank Jr. Joe, what do you think?
Just repeat. There's nothing Chris can do to. The only way Chris Eubank can win is Liam Smith sustains a really bad cut, and that's about it. That's his only chance.
Joe, you've had fighters that come into the gym and you have fights with them. How long is that transition before yourself as a trainer gets to know the fighter well enough? Like Chris Eubank's only had about 4.5 weeks with Bomac. How much can he realistically change?
Well, my first fight with Scott Quigg was for the British title. My first fight with Matthew Macklin was for the British title. I think it depends on the chemistry and the gel and whether they're willing to learn. Listen, Bomac, the last time they were over here, I think they were with Amir Khan. Didn't really work out well, and now they've got Eubank. And listen, he's a hot trainer, he's a good trainer. Obviously, you've seen what he's doing with Terence Crawford. But who else after Terence Crawford, do you understand? So, listen, he can have whoever he wants in the corner. At the end of the day, Liam Smith's a great fighter and a great boxer. Chris Eubank Jr. is not great at neither of them.
So you're one of the leading trainers here in the UK, multiple world champions in the past, a lot of controversy on the weekend. I've spoken to a lot of people, fighters, promoters, pundits. Everyone seems split. From your perspective, Usyk DUBOIS, was that low?
Yeah, of course it was low. Of course it was low. When we fighters bring to the middle of the ring, if I feel an opponent's got his waistband too high above the belly button, I'll turn around and say to the referee, that's high, all shots good on the waistband, and at that moment the ref will go yes or no, or I'll do my job, you do your job. But anything on the shorts, if you're hitting shorts, it's a foul if it's below the belly button.
What do you make of Don Charles' comment saying that Usyk was a cheat and comparing him to a drugs cheat almost?
not.
Was that emotion, just emotion after the fight?
It's emotion. You're passionate for your kid and you want to do well. And apart from that moment, I mean, Daniel Dubois did very well. He excelled. I think he's a work in progress. I think in another 3-4 years, Daniel Dubois could be and has the potential to be the man. It's just he's got to go away and learn from these. He's in with like proper world-class fighters at the moment with Alexander Usyk. I like Don Charleston in the corner, who was very proud of him, and I think everyone else was very proud of him, his performance. But it's just a learning lesson. You go back and come back again. He's still very young.
A comment Eddie Hearn made was that he feels Daniel Dubois has been thrown in the deep end too soon.
Well, Daniel Dubois' talent has got him there to be too soon. Like I say, Daniel Dubois did a really good, for the limited experience and everything, did a really good account of himself, but opportunities present themselves, so are you got to walk away when the opportunity presents themselves or not? Daniel Dubois and the team thought that was the right opportunity. They've seen something in it. Usyk's only fighting once a year. He's had 5 fights in 5 years, and the target to go to the body is good because he's soft, because he's not fighting regular and often. So listen, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but I think Daniel Dubois, it was a great opportunity. Some fighters take the opportunity and it doesn't happen, but they go away and come back again, and they'll learn, and the only way by learning is being on the big stage.
There was a notion that Daniel Dubois didn't want to be in there anymore. He got hit by, I think the first jab, he went down, he got up quite late, and then the last one, I think he got up just after the referee said 9. I'm not going to use the word quit because it's not my favourite word, and fighters are all heroes going in the ring. But what did you kind of take from the reaction from people about Daniel not wanting to be there anymore?
Listen, I think it's nonsense. I'd say, listen, Daniel's done very well. They got to around 8, 9, got caught with a shot. Only he knows, do you understand? But to call any fighter a quitter going into the ring is a bit poor form by anyone. It takes huge bollocks to get into the ring and fight the best in the world when you're a huge underdog, and to do what he did, do you know what I mean? So full credit to him, and people need to look at themselves for calling fellow professionals quitters when we're in a sport where people get seriously injured and killed in the ring. It's a bad terminology and it shouldn't be associated to any professional boxer at whatever level they're fighting at.
Usyk Fury for you next? Has to be.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I find it. I know they're doing the best for Daniel Dubois, trying to get that rematch, but then that rematch will only push Tyson's fight with Usyk back furthermore. Maybe Daniel Dubois could come back with the winner of Joyce and Chang. I think that would be a really good fight. If Joyce wins, there's the rematch there. That's a good domestic fight. And let Usyk and Tyson, please, just let's get the fight made and done. The general public, everybody. It's wrong years ago, people get on a plane and go and get a fight done and come back, and it's done. No, we never had to hear about negotiation years ago. The fight was done and that was it. And we don't hear no more about it. Just tell us when the fight's done and that's it.
So this final one, PEDS, we saw Helenius fail a VADA test, Elisa Baumgartner as well. Helenius was found to have clomiphene, Conor Ben, clomiphene. There's another fighter, I can't remember the name, who's supposed to fight Rolly Romero. Again, he failed because of clomiphene. I'm just thinking outside the box here, could there be a bigger issue with clomiphene in certain foods?
Yeah, no, not most, definitely. But listen, the failed tests, boxing shouldn't have fighters in failed tests, and it's all right, promoters moaning, everyone's moaning. But I've always said, if a trainer don't train him, a manager don't manage him, a promoter don't promote him, and TV don't put him on TV, that's the end of the problem. Just don't entertain them, do you understand? And then to get caught popped so many days later, or 9 days, it was sat on a shelf for, or whatever it was, it's just wrong. And no matter how you try and argue and try and do as many interviews as you can to forget about the issue, you're testing, you've got to take your punishment, and that's it. And that's all there is to it, and you can fight and everything. And it's like they say, oh, he's been cleared. Cleared of what? What's he been cleared of? Has he been cleared of what? No eggs in the substance. Has he been cleared by who? Been cleared by the board? Been cleared by who? He's not been cleared. It's a big word. Cleared. Cleared of what? Tell me exactly what's he been cleared of. So it's just wrong. It's disgusting. I just hope this week, fight week, we have a week where there's no controversy. There's no elbows in the eyes. There's no people popping for drugs afterwards and everything. Boxing at its best, we've had a good year this year. We've had good fighters in Uwe, Fulton, Spence, Crawford, and we want to end the year again with all the big fights, Tyson, Usyk, and all big fights. But let's stop giving boxing its own black eye every time we do it. And any fighter that's being popped, all promoters, and more so TV networks, should just drop them. And it's like, I don't care who you are, you're dropped. And we have to start with the hard and fast like that.
Joe, I appreciate your time. All the best on Saturday night, and I'm sure we'll be catching up with you after the show.
Yeah, no problem. Cheers, man.
Joe Gallagher, Boxing Geek Media.